Hoy there, it's Skyward Shield. Welcome to Football Talks. Super Bowl is over. The season is over. We're done for the 2015-16 season. It's been a blast. I am joined by Bill. Say hello, Bill.
I cannot believe it's over.
I'll say. So, before we get to the Super Bowl, I want to get one thing off my chest, and it's got to do with Cam Newton. No, it has nothing to do with the post-game shit. We're going to talk about that, and I'm actually on a different side where every other fan is, especially the haters, because I think, Bill, Cam Newton is going to become Tom Brady when Tom Brady retires. You know, the quarterback that gets a lot of flack for just doing things. For being bad, he's going to get shit. When he's sad, he's going to get shit. When he's happy, he's going to get shit. And when he's successful, he's going to get a lot of shit.
Oh, yeah.
Just like Tom Brady. So, hey, that's a sign you're great when people really hate you for no real reason. Sometimes, even if you're on your, even if they're fans of your own team. Anyway, so what I want to talk about Cam is he got both offensive and the overall MVP. Why do they do that? The MVP stuff is bullshit. If a player was going to get one award, he should not be allowed to get another. Like last year, J.J. Welp could have been MVP and defensive, but I knew it was going to be Aaron Rodgers. That's why I didn't mind. If he somehow got it, I'd be like, okay, then give up your defensive MVP and give it to the guy next to you. That would have been next up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
A player should not be allowed to hog all those awards. I know that they're that good, but come on, that whole thing is to show the best from everything, but if you're going to let one player, which is impossible to get all three, of course, but, you know, if a player is able to do that, like, okay, I know he won't do it, but let's say in, like, NBA, Kawhi Leonard, who's probably going to be Defensive Player of the Year again, then all of a sudden just put up 30 points every game for the rest of the season, he could be offensive, defensive, and overall MVP if he beat Steph Curry a couple times.
Right.
As much as I love Kawhi Leonard, who claimed through in the clutch yesterday against the Magic. Fuck you, Orlando Magic. Yeah, I was pumped after they let them get the lead, and then they took care of business. To be fair, Magic could have beat them another time, but that's beside the point. As much as I would love for Kawhi to have all three awards, it's unfair. You're supposed to highlight as many of the players as you can, so it's like, okay, fine. If you're going to let Steph Curry get offensive MVP or overall MVP, then give the other award to someone else.
Right.
So in this case, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm salty because Hopkins isn't there. I don't even know if he was part of the awards. Like, you know, like he was a nominee. I was like, go give it to somebody else who could get it. I don't care if it was like Adrian Peterson. I bet he was one of them. Probably Odell Beckham too, but you know what I mean. Give it to somebody else, not give two awards to the same guy.
Right.
Just finish.
I mean, it's just I'm of the camp that I kind of agree. It's like, what's the point of having the overall MVP in the offense? I mean, sure, Cam is an important offensive weapon, but if I think MVP of the league, obviously he's already going to be the best at the position that he's at. So
he had an MVP year.
Why not give it to the second best player and sort of spread the love? But no, let's just give it to Cam.
Oh, Charles Woodson got an award that day too, so I was happy for that. At least he got something as a send-off. But anyway, my suggestion is remove overall MVP and just call it QB MVP. In fact, why don't you add a special teams award to it? That's really hard because sometimes you can get barely anything, but usually there's always some guy who returns something for a touchdown, or you can give it to a kicker, because the special teams they do matter sometimes. Like if Carolina, who we're going to talk about later, capitalized on their great special team stuff at the beginning of the game, who knows? We might have had a closer game. It might have been 24-17. But alas, it wasn't meant to be because the Panthers blew it. But I guess we could transition. But yeah, just get rid of overall MVP. Just call it QB MVP. MVP among the quarterbacks. Because that's what it is. We all know it. Stop lying to us, NFL. You're lying to us and you're lying to yourself. That's not healthy for any of us.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's move on to the game. Bill, this Super Bowl, wasn't even close to what we wanted. It was not. I mean, it was defensive slugfest for sure. I think we both kind of expected it, but
Yeah.
this was a weird. This was just after the fourth quarter killed it for me because it felt so dull because the Panthers just kind of just laid there,
Yeah.
and they had many chances to do things, but they didn't.
And really, and here's really the microcosm of what caused it was in really the first half in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Hey Bill, that microcosm is a good word right there. Nice one. Go be a journalist, Bill. Using all these the other words that no one else would use. That's not an insult, by the way. That's not an insult.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's okay. But literally, what what sort of set the tone for the entire game was the Von Miller strip sack.
Should we just say that he's MVP? Because I'm so glad he got it over Peyton. Because I thought, okay, I would think, okay, Peyton just needs to get one touchdown and he'll automatically be the MVP. That's because I think this might have been the least productive offense to win a Super Bowl.
I mean, there's been some really bad offenses.
Like John Elway's back when they won theirs.
I mean, here's the issue is what really set the tone for the day, and I thought Carolina came out and played really, really tentative. They looked like they were nervous to be in the game, and who the hell wouldn't be nervous playing in front of 1 billion people, you know?
I'll tell you who, not Peyton Manning. He's seen this song and dance before.
Yeah, it was sort of what I expected. The Carolina Panthers came out and they played nervous. They played like the stage was huge. And yes, the stage is huge.
You know what really capped off this ugly game though? An ugly call by the refs. There was a catch no catch rule again. We had a Des Bryant situation. Yep. I call it the Des Bryant rule, where the ball shakes, whether it touches the ground or not is not in question. I call it the Des Bryant rule. Or is that the Calvin Johnson one?
And that's a perfect segue because 2 plays after that was the strip sack. If that doesn't get overturned, then that strip sack doesn't happen, that touchdown doesn't happen.
Yeah, we could have had a different game. Maybe it would have been a 3-and-out, but hey, it would not have been 10-0.
It wouldn't be 10-0. It would have been 3-0. You never know. You never know how momentum gets played. The Denver Broncos got up 10-0, and it was thanks to that strip sack.
But tell me, Bill, what did you think of that play? I think it shook, but it didn't touch the ground. That means it should have been fine.
I was gonna tweet out that on that play. I was basically going to make a poll and was going to say, is this a catch? Yes or no? And I was going to vote for no. And the simple fact is that the literal what's been happening in the NFL all year. Literally, no one knows what a catch is anymore.
The NFL should just take a year hiatus and just settle and just decide what the hell is a catch. Just run different scenarios. Get players, retired or not, and tell them, okay, make this weird catch. We're going to look at it, be sure to hit the ground, and tell me, and we're going to determine what's a catch or not. They need to get off their asses this season, not just, it's over.
The NFL is a joke. It's a joke. It is a joke that constant catches are being ruled incomplete because, oh my God, the ball bobbled, but he had control of it. But the ball barely shifted, as you're falling and, falling and driving your body into the ball. Like it's not going to move or anything, If you're falling full weight into the football, the ball's going to move. It's only a matter of physics.
Yeah, but it's
Let's.
like to me, if the hand still has control, like it's keeping a grip on it and not
Exactly.
falling off, then it should count. To me, that's what should help decide it. But you know what? I mean, they're fine with it because
You,
all some of the great catches we've had this year, like the Hopkins catch with the helmet, that could have very well have been overturned despite how well he secured it because it was on his helmet and not on his body. They would have had the DeAndre Hopkins catch
I
rule.
mean, I mean the David Tyree catch. That ball touched the freaking ground, and that was ruled a catch. Imagine the Patriots with that catch wiped away. Does the other Manningham catch happen? I mean, overall,
Bill,
this year
Bill,
has been an
what was the oh,
absolute joke.
Bill? What's the name of that ref that you hate so much? You know, the one that fucked Detroit over last year. Give me his name again.
Pete Pete Morelli.
Okay, I think Pete Morelli has just ruined referees for life because I feel like it was like a parasite. It's spreading, ruining other refs. We gotta kill it at its source, Bill. Fire, fire
I
Morelli. Hashtag
I
fire
call
Morelli.
I call Pete Morelli Lurch because he looks like Lurch from the Addams Family.
Oh boy. I'm trying to remember Lurch because I forgot. I know what the Adams family looks like, but I don't
He's
remember their names.
he's the Frankenstein
Okay,
monster
okay, I know you're talking about.
that answers the door and he's like, "You ring." That's Peter Morelli to me. He looks like Lurch. I mean, look at if you put a picture of Peter Morelli's face, you put a picture of Lurch next to each other, they're almost identical twins.
Yep. I will
But
say,
I mean,
I think one of the thing was the Panthers. They wasted all their challenges in the same quarter. Like there was one
yep,
where it looked very clear that the Broncos had it. Or no, it was clear that it would have gone in their favor, but it was like over nothing really. So it's
yeah.
like should you have done it then? Because I don't
I
even think
mean,
they did anything after that. So it's like you
and
should have kept it for because there was another situation where they could have used a challenge, but they didn't have it because they
it
wasted both of them.
it sort of goes back to my point though that I felt like the stage the Panthers got caught up in the stage rather than, treating it like it was any other game. If that was any other game, Ron Rivera would not have challenged 2 times in the first quarter. If this was any other game, Cam Newton would have came out, ran the football all over the field, got his receivers uncovered because then you don't know if Cam's going to run. They outfought themselves. Carolina did.
You know,
They
it's
could have
their
they
best
could have
drives.
broken.
Sorry, Bill. Their best drives were when he was running around. Whether it was
Exactly.
successful or not, they mostly were. Even though I will say Denver did always keep someone near the line to keep an eye on him to catch him. So they were ready
But
for his running, but he still should have tried.
and
Because there were some plays where, like, dude, if you didn't just, run against the line and actually, kind of went a diagonal shift, you might have made progress and not have,
uh,
gone to 3 and outs.
and here's the other thing that they went away from: running the football. Where was Jonathan Stewart in that game?
Hurt.
They did not run that football at all.
He got hurt twice. He got a touchdown, but that was like a 1 yard thing. But remember, Denver's run defense is ugly, but
Oh
good for
yeah.
them ugly. Like it. Bill, I don't know if you know this, but I cannot wait for next year for one game. Denver Houston or Houston at Denver because I think that'll be the next Houston at Cincinnati where it's like everyone's like, "Oh, it's Denver, they have this, they have the better defense, they're a better team." But then Houston comes up, says hello, knocks them on their asses and it's like, "Oh no, are the Broncos doomed?" Question mark exclamation point yet question mark because
Oh
I
my
there's
god.
always Houston always beats usually in their good seasons they beat one really good team where everyone wrote them off and I hope it's that one just because I know you don't like Brock Osweiler and I don't want to stick it to Kubiak or Phillips. No, I'm glad that they won a Super Bowl trophy, but I wish it was here. And I understand why McNair fired them 2-14 season. I can't get mad
Oh
at him
yeah.
for that. But But at the same time, want to stick it to the team in general because they're gonna get so arrogant from this and their fan base because you know, Bill, I hate the Broncos fan base because they're gonna be even worse now. Ugh. Sorry, Bill. You know, remember last week I awarded them worst fandom of the year, and I expect them to live up to it in full. Ugh. I think you'll see what I mean now that they've won, but we'll see. But anyway, Bill, we'll talk more Wade Phillips and Kubiak when we are done with this. So, should we go to the second quarter or just go to the second half?
Let's go on to the second half because.
But Bill, did you see the halftime show? I mean, Coldplay was boring, but Beyonce announced her next tour there, and like, but I don't have any money, and she just stares. I'm like, yes, ma'am.
Oh man.
Beyonce saved that. Beyonce was basically a hero. Comes literally out of left field to save the show because it was so bland and boring. Well, you had Bruno Mars, who had what was considered the most exciting one in recent years. So you had to get the best people from in Super Bowl performance era to come in. Also, by the way, Beyonce was wearing an outfit similar to Michael Jackson's. So you could argue it took 3 people to do it. Two great artists and a dead guy. It took all 3 to save Coldplay, because Coldplay you cannot carry. Why are you even here? It should have been just Beyonce and Bruno Mars show having a dance-off. That would have been fun. That or have Left Shark.
I mean, literally, I was of the persuasion of why didn't they just put a picture of Super Bowl Shark on the stage that they were dancing on?
Hologram.
As a remembrance of our favorite halftime performer. Super Bowl Shark made that halftime amazing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't mind Katy Perry, but Super Bowl Shark, he's the hero we all need.
You know what? No, Bill, he's the hero we deserve. No, the hero we deserve is truly One Punch Man, which you need to watch, Bill, and viewers need to watch, because One Punch Man is very fun. Whether you like anime or not, it's fun. There's my anime shout-out. So, let's go to the second half, Bill.
Second half, obviously, Carolina had a great possibility. They were trying to pull off the Patriot special, where they get the football at the end of the first half and score, and then try to score in the second half. They didn't do it at either time. Basically, you know, Denver's defense shut them down. The second half, I thought, was decided in the fourth quarter, obviously.
And guess what? Guess who decided it for the Panthers? It wasn't even the defense, or Denver's defense, that did it.
It was Von Miller being a disruptive force.
Oh, we must be talking about different things, because I was referring to special teams again. Special teams was a very mixed bag, because you saw. I mentioned. I don't know who it was. I forget his name, but you had the Panthers go like 60 yards from a punt return, and it's like they could have easily capitalized. Go for a field goal, you miss it. It hits the top of the pole and goes away. Ugh.
Oh yes.
Oh God.
And I think that was another momentum shift as well.
Well, that decided it. It's like, okay, guys, you're not coming out of this. You needed points just to, you just got to put up points against Denver, because sure, Denver won, but it very much could have been, had there not been that last turnover at the end, it could have been just 17-10, and it would have looked at least like, yeah, Denver wasn't having a good day either. I mean, let's remove the to me, because when I was hearing podcasts talk about this, one of them mentioned if Denver's going to win, they have to get a turnover that becomes a touchdown, like a pick six or a fumble return. What happened in the first quarter, Bill? A fumble return for a touchdown.
Yep.
And that's what they needed, and it's what they got, and that's why they won. Had that not happened, Carolina might have caught up and maybe beat them.
Well, but I think we're doing a disservice to both offenses to say, that because both offenses did score an offensive touchdown.
They did,
And,
but I think in the case of Carolina, they got so demotivated or unmotivated because of first, what set the tone, the defensive touchdown. Like I said, had that not happened, like it had that catch was considered a catch. We don't know what would have happened, but I can tell you, I think the score would have been a lot more close than the one we had today, 24-10. I wasn't pleased with that. I wanted at least a touchdown. Where you wanted overtime, which Phil, I don't know if that'll ever happen anytime soon.
I mean, to be fair, I expected a overtime game for the simple fact that both defenses were really good. I felt like both teams were going to score about the exact same amount of points.
You know what?
And for most of the,
we should have
most of the game.
You should have predicted a final score. I would have if I would have done overtime like you, I would have went 6-3 overtime win. It's that ugly. It's that ugly of a defensive game, and it'd be the lowest scoring Super Bowl win in history. That'd be fun.
I mean, I think, and here's why I thought it was. Both defenses were amazing. I just felt like Peyton had way more to work with than Cam had to work with.
Well, yeah, because people are mad at Cam, but here's what I say to them. Well, I'm going to get more into the rant, but this is more about the other stuff in terms of the game in his season. He had to carry he had to carry a bunch of average wide receivers, a great tight end, which no disservice to Greg Olsen, and
which got shut down in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't even think did he even catch a ball?
No, I don't think.
I think he caught one, but it wasn't a first down. Yeah, it was. It was the first drive or first or second drive from Carolina that wasn't a turnover. It was like 3rd and 10, got 9 yards, cut off just short.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
They kept him. Yep. They kept him from getting first downs. That's what they needed, and that's what they got. They didn't let him do much. Yep. So, yeah. And of course, Jonathan Stewart, who granted was hurt the whole game, so I'm not going to fault him for that. But I mean, Ted Ginn Jr. is good. He missed some balls. Same with the other ones. Same with the other guy. I forget his name. Those wide receivers need help. But thankfully, next season they'll have Kelvin Benjamin, and who knows? Maybe they'll draft another wide receiver next year. Because I think they're fine everywhere else. They're fine everywhere else.
Yeah, they're stout on defense. They have a damn good defense, and they're going to be just as scary next year. But
with a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, they're not have that chip. But here's my thoughts on the second half, and what really did it was, the last 5 minutes of the game where Cam didn't dive for the football. And here's the issue with that I have. You're playing in the Super Bowl. This is the biggest game of your career. You're not diving for the football to save it and try to save your season. I know that you don't want to get hurt, and I know that quarterbacks are trained not to dive for the football. But look at where you are, and take into account, if that was Peyton Manning's diving in there to get that football, because he would understand the situation. This is our season on the ride, on
the line.
Last legs. Yeah, on the line. This is our final drive. If we score a touchdown, we can kick a onside kick and try to tie this game up. Or not even that. They could have took a 1-point lead actually. Now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
It was like 16-10, something like that.
Yeah, but they had to go for 2 to make it a 2 touchdown game. And they got it right.
But
Fun fact, if Peyton retires now, which is very likely he will, his final successful throw would have been worth 2 points on the board.
Yep.
I forget who caught it.
Uh,
I don't remember his name.
Dex, uh, Dexter Fowler or something
Fowler.
like
I
that.
knew there was a Fowler here. I don't know why. Like the only Fowler I could think of is Dante Fowler, but for the Jaguars, and he didn't play. He's
He's
linebacker.
but I'm just gonna put it this way, Cam, if you're playing in the Super Bowl, dive for the football, save your season, try to score a touchdown. You know,
Yeah.
don't. This is your season. This is everything that your entire team played 18, 19 games to get to. You're within 6 points. You're within one touchdown of winning the game. You could have a 1-point win in the Super Bowl. You doesn't matter if you win by 1 or by 100. You're still Super Bowl champions. And to not dive for that football, and you never know if you're ever going to go back. Cam, you never know if you're going to go back. And I think he did a great disservice to him and his legacy, as a quarterback right now, that in the biggest moment, he didn't try to save the season. He let the season slip through everyone else's fingers, literally.
Yep. Though to be fair, that Denver defense broke him like they broke Brady, because look what they destroyed 2 top quarterbacks in a row. Though if you ask Wade Phillips, he'll say, "Don't forget about Roethlisberger."
Oh yeah, Roethlisberger. To be fair,
It
I
could
think
have it could have been they could have beaten the Broncos, but they choked in their own way. But if they had Antonio Brown, if not for that dirty play, I would have actually picked the Steelers.
And Le'Veon Bell. If Le'Veon Bell was playing, it's a whole different Pittsburgh Steelers team.
Here's the problem, Bill. They'll never have Le'Veon Bell for the postseason, and I'll tell you why. Because unless they bench him for every Bengals game, a Bengal's always going to injure him for the year. It's happened twice now. It does. I would not feel good about starting, but Tomlin don't care. But I just want to put that conspiracy out there because it's happened twice now, and I don't want to believe this. I don't want to take chances. A third time's the charm. You ruin his knees. He's not going to last as long as most running backs would. He won't make it to 30. He might make it to 28.
Yeah, but overall, that was the play that epitomized the game to me. It was the fumble in the fourth quarter, and then, Denver scored a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and it was over. It was over. So I think we should probably transition to what? The post game.
Yeah, the post game.
Right?
So what I said earlier, Denver got a touchdown, and Peyton's, I want to say it was his last successful throw, was worth 2 points, and now I wish he said it, but always this one's for Pat. I wanted him to say this one's for Peyton. I was like, wait, you mean Peyton, right? But then I found out that's the owner. But
the owner who's in the hospital.
Yep. Be like, this one's also for John. I really wanted to take that and run. Just get the Super Bowl trophy and bail. Get out. Just take it. It's like, this one's also for John. I really wanted him to say it, but he couldn't say it as a joke because he would have got booed. And I get that, but it's what I would have wanted to see. Not the booing, just him saying that. It's funny.
Right.
But anyway, so yeah. Von Miller's the MVP. Bill, are you satisfied with that, or would you have rather had Peyton Manning? Because
no. Peyton Manning didn't deserve it. Von Miller was a force to be reckoned with in that game. Literally, he set up everything for that team to win. Von Miller is a very worthy MVP of the Super Bowl.
Why do you think Peyton didn't want to announce his retirement there? Because we know he's going to retire, but why do you think he didn't want to say it there?
He's not going to say it there for the simple fact that if he says it there, and we all know this, the media's gonna be like, Peyton Manning announces retirement after Super Bowl. This he's not that type of person. He he knows as well as we all knew that that Super Bowl was a whole team win. And the minute he announces that he's retiring, the entire story is on focus on him. So I give props to Peyton Manning for being a stand-up guy and allowing his team to get the attention it deserves. Von Miller deserves the attention. What happens if Peyton Manning announces right after that? Von Miller doesn't get the attention. Every camera and be like, "Oh, you guys just won the Super Bowl. Von Miller, the MVP." So what do you think about Peyton Manning's retirement? And then microphone. Not like you just won the Super Bowl. You're the MVP. What do you think about that? Blah blah blah. That's the sort of thing. He gave his teammates their moment in the sun. He knows that he's going. He knows that he's leaving, and he knows that he's gonna leave with great fanfare. There's no reason for him to take away from his teammates now.
Yeah. Actually,
You know what
I
I
only
mean?
realized that a few days ago. Because first I was like, why didn't he retire? It's the perfect time. But when I thought about it, it would take away attention from the whole team and just be about him. So I actually agree with you 100% on that, Bill. Because I thought something similar. So I am kind of glad he didn't do it because I thought he was the last one being interviewed. But no, you mentioned that Von Miller wouldn't have had the MVP interview, which he should have gotten.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the other thing is Peyton Manning is going to retire. I think what he's gonna do is he's announce his retirement, sign a 1-day contract with the Indianapolis Colts, and retire an Indianapolis Colt. And that's what I think is going to happen. I think that's what all this. That's why it's gonna take a little bit. He's probably going to be like, okay, I'm retiring. Then he has the contract in place. He can come back to Indy, sign it, and then announce and retire a Colt. So that way he can be a Indianapolis Colt. That's what everyone's gonna remember him as. No one's gonna remember him as a Denver Bronco. Everyone's gonna remember him as the Indianapolis Colt.
Yeah. I kind of hope that happens to Andre Johnson, but I don't know if it will.
I hope it happens to Andre Johnson because I feel like Andre Johnson's gonna be the first member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame for the Houston
Oh,
Texans.
he is. He is, but I want him to be remembered as a Texan. That's why I don't want the Colts to even go to a Super Bowl. Not until he's done. And I think Andrew Luck will get them a ring, but I don't want him to be there because if he does get it,
I don't.
he'll be remembered much more as a Colt. Even if he did
I
nothing.
don't think so.
Maybe you think so?
I don't.
Even if he
I
plays
don't.
well.
I don't think.
Even if he plays well.
No, he's always to me. He's always a Houston Texan. When I think Andre Johnson, I think Houston Texans. I don't think Indianapolis Colts or wherever he's on play. Like when I think Randy Moss, I think Randy Moss from the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, I think of
Not
I think the New England because of that's when I started paying attention. So I'm a little different
yeah.
considering the time I jumped into the getting into the NFL. But anyway,
Right.
what was I gonna say? I hope so.
Post-game.
I hope so, but we'll see. But I remember what I was gonna say. So what about DeMarcus Ware? Because now people are saying, could he make it into the will he make it into the Hall of Fame? Because this helped his career, getting a ring. What?
He's already a Hall of Famer to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, he was. If you ask anyone that's a contemporary of his, and you ask who was one of the most unstoppable forces in the NFL, you'd answer DeMarcus Ware.
So basically, ask one of the Cowboys who was like around in those days, in his
Or
prime.
just anyone contemporary playing with him.
Yeah.
Like
I'm pretty
Barry
sure.
Sanders.
I'm pretty sure a lot of what do you call? A lot of Cowboys and especially Jerry Jones are going to advocate for his Hall of Fame candidacy when it comes time for that.
I mean,
Not
just
what?
look at the current class. A quarterback that should have been in there a long time ago. Ken Stabler. Ken Stabler of the Raiders. He was for the era of which he
Was
played.
it the John
He
Madden
never
era?
had a yeah.
Wow, and he
He
didn't
never
get
had
in. That's so pathetic. Took till
he,
how many years was
he
this?
never had a lose. He never had a losing season.
What?
He's Ken Stabler. John Madden never had a losing season as an Oakland Raider head coach.
God,
Never.
even him. Wow, and it took him. This was the '70s, right? This was 40 years almost. This is about 30 to 40
John,
years.
yep.
Son of a bitch!
Ken
It took him
Stabler.
that long. That's horrible.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
disrespectful.
Ken Stabler is dead.
Wow.
He never got to live to see his induction,
Oh,
and
that's disrespectful.
He was a damn good quarterback. If you think the Oakland Raiders, Ken Stabler is up top in terms. It's like Ken Stabler at quarterback. You don't think of anyone else in an Oakland uniform at quarterback until you think Ken Stabler. At running back, it's Marcus Allen. At wide receiver, it's Tim Brown. That's your position by position. Those are the Hall of Famers, you know. But going back to that, but ask contemporaries. Ken Stabler is a Hall of Famer. Ask contemporaries to DeMarcus Ware, his contemporaries during his time period of people that he played against, and DeMarcus Ware is a Hall of Famer if you ask them.
Yeah, I hope so. But anyway, I would like for DeMarcus Ware to come and finish his career with Dallas. It might happen because I don't think they're going to with the amount of money Von Miller is going to make. That defense will not hold. I said it earlier, say it one more time. That was built for one more trophy run for Peyton Manning, and they got it. They are not all going to stay together. I don't think they'll pull off a somewhat like Seattle Seahawks, but even then, they're breaking apart slowly. They're not all going to stick together like even Seattle. But I expect DeMarcus Ware to go. I expect one of the secondary players to go. I don't think Aqib Talib. Maybe T.J. Ward, even though I basically say he's one of the unsung heroes, because I think he got a turnover too that actually was crucial. I think it was the final one, the one that led to that touchdown with the 2-point conversion.
Yep.
So I don't know if they're all going to stay. I can guarantee you one of the big pieces is going to go, and I think it's DeMarcus Ware because of his age. But I'm okay with that because I want him to come to Dallas. I think with Greg Hardy's going out the door, and sure we have DeMarcus Lawrence on one side, but if you put DeMarcus Ware on the other, you've got two DeMarcuses side by side or on the other side, and it's going to bring pressure. I believe at least DeMarcus Ware has one more year in the tank, but at least you can retire with the team you started in, like Charles Woodson did. I think that's a good thing when a player does that, like Charles Woodson did. But he's the only example I can think of off the top of my head. That's why I keep saying him. So who knows? I don't know if it'll happen though for him. Maybe he'll just retire. He could just retire with Peyton Manning. They go off in the sunset together. But who knows?
Yep.
But Bill, if he does retire, I'm gonna nominate him because DeMarcus Ware was my defensive player growing up. But now it's J.J. Watt because J.J. Watt's the GOAT. J.J. Watt's the GOAT. Bill, he's got three Defensive Player of the Year awards to his name. One more above Lawrence Taylor. He's already on pace to becoming the GOAT.
Right.
So I want to call him the GOAT right now. I'm saying it right now just because I feel like it's going to happen. But if it does, if he gets any much more success or another 20 sack season, you can't deny it anymore. You can't deny that he's the GOAT anymore.
To be fair, I was never denying that.
I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you. I'm saying other people.
I mean, anyone that is foolhardy enough to say that he's not great is someone not to listen to. But you know, and the last topic from the post game that I want to touch on, and I know you want to touch
Yep.
on, is Cam Newton.
Oh yeah. So should I
And
start or you?
and I'll say a little piece on it, and here's what I really think about the post game reaction to Cam Newton is the NFL loves good drama. And what's better drama than having a guy walk off the set after he just loses the biggest game of his life? Now, people have been criticizing Cam Newton for how he handled it. And sure, he didn't handle it well, but how are you supposed to handle losing? Are you supposed to handle losing like, oh, it's happy fun time, etc., etc.? No. I want to see my quarterback be pissed off that he lost. I mean, and sure, I get it. But here's the thing, is they stuck him in front of a camera after he just lost the biggest game of his life with a camera in his face 30 minutes after he lost a giant football game. Lots of people don't even get to play in their entire career. This is the biggest game of anybody's life. And you just lost it. Now, are you going to sit in front of cameras and be like, oh, I'm okay with this. We'll be back next time. Oh my God.
I
No.
mean, you
You're
could
gonna
be
be
like
like,
Tom Brady and handle it, who he's calm about it, but he'll be like, "Yeah, I wanted to win that."
I mean, but he's already won 3.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
even when when they lost some of those other ones that they to the Giants, they handled it well.
yeah,
Like here's one example: Gronk. When they lost to the Giants the second time, what did he do? He went out and had a party. He's like, you know what? I had fun here. I didn't like that I didn't get a Super Bowl ring, but you know what? I had fun this whole season, and I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to finish it the way I started it, with by enjoying myself.
exactly. And
But
everyone is different. And
yeah,
that's the beauty about
yeah,
it.
but
Gronk is more of a party boy.
yeah, but what did they call
and
Gronk when he's doing that? It's like, oh, he didn't care about the Super Bowl at all. He just wanted to party. No, he's just wanting to live his life and be happy. But Bill,
exactly.
what else do you have to add? Because I need to have a go. Can't I got?
Go ahead and have your go, man.
All right, so the NFL wants to shame him for this, but it's what I said at the beginning. They get mad at Cam for being happy, for being sad, for losing, and for winning. He's going to take Brady's place as the most hated quarterback, even by his own fans. I mean, you could say that was also Romo, too, but Romo's going to go, and people already just don't... You can't change their minds, even if he won a damn Super Bowl. They call him, oh, they got it by luck. They shouldn't have even been there. It should have been, I don't know, the Eagles or the Giants or some other NFC team. I don't know. But with Cam, everyone has something to get mad about. He actually had a quote about that, and I think I mentioned it in last week's podcast. And he said, no matter what I do, people aren't going to be pleased. And I'm fine. I don't care about that. And it's like, good you realize that, because these people are gonna get mad at you and try to get rile you up and get better reactions, because it makes good for the media to write 10 articles on, which I can assure you, at least from the ones I know, the people who have to write this shit, they don't like it. Good for good reason, because one of them put it best that he's a competitor and he's upset, and that's good. That's healthy. That makes sense. I mean, at least he's not being. He could be worse. He could be destroying shit. He could be just outright cursing at the damn reporters for because they didn't do nothing wrong, as much as they're annoying. He handled it not good, but it could have been much worse. He could have been much worse. Especially when people bring up considering his backstory before he got into the NFL. I was like, oh, he did bad things back in college. It's like, no, he handled it much better, so shut up. Get over yourselves and just wait until the next season or wait till the draft or combine before you start posting stupid articles, because I am not against Cam. I don't like. I'm not a fan of him as because or his team. I mean, sure, the Panthers Twitter handle, the Panthers social media team is phenomenal. They're great, but I'm not a fan of the franchise. But Cam's not a bad person. I mean, he could be like. I mean, I don't hate him like I hate Aaron Rodgers. I don't like Aaron Rodgers, Bill. And I wonder which one of us don't like him more between the two of us. Because I don't like him because of his attitude and because of how he acts. You don't like him because he's a Green Bay Packer and you're a Detroit Lions fan. That makes sense. That's like a Bears fan hating them. Rivalry.
Be like a Bears fan hating my team. I mean, I expect it.
Yeah, I expect it out of you, but should I? But I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan too, so that means I shouldn't like them either. Because they're in the same conference. They're going to get in my way more often than, say, Houston or New England, which they only play once every 4 years, discounting a possibility of a Super Bowl. But seriously, I'm getting annoyed by all this talk about Cam being an unclassy, a selfish player. I'm like, do you know how many players have to act professional for you? Because if they all acted like they wanted to, do you not? That you guys would get tired of? You would have what do you call that? You would have carpal tunnel by the time you're done. Not even when you're done. If every player could act like how they wanted, because they're coaches. Go ask any player, and they'll say, "I have to act like this because this is what my coach says." Like I know some Texas players have already said. Like Dwayne Brown said it. I think Hoyer said it before. Hopkins said it's like this is how coach wants us to talk. We can't speak out of line because the media will take it out of context. Fans might take it out of context, and we have to keep that image because we're professionals.
And I'll put this in there is that Peyton Manning said that Cam Newton was very gracious and very nice. So in the end, and that was right after the game, they're not going to post the photos of Cam Newton sitting there with a smile on his face as he's shaking Peyton Manning's hand after he lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The
only ones you'll see that are from like Denver itself, surprisingly. I've actually seen more Denver people post that picture than the sad ones.
Cam was a gracious loser, and he didn't like losing, but he accepted it. He's going to use it, and he's going to move on. Now, with the media, he doesn't have to give them shit. And like I was on I was back in Marshawn Lynch last year. I'm done back.
Oh, I'm glad Marshawn was the way he was. I'm gonna miss him, Bill, because he retired on the Super Bowl, on the fourth quarter. But I'm gonna miss him because I love how he fucked around with the media. Because you don't get that from players that often now, because they have to keep that professional image.
I mean,
I will say though, the one thing I liked about Cam, when people were making fun of him, were those memes, like with the crying Jordan face. It's just, I thought they were great. Like my favorite one is not even a GIF. It's just him on the floor playing "Wake Me Up," "Wake Me Up Inside," playing Evanescence in the background. It's so good. It's so funny for me. But anyway. Yeah, that's mostly my rant. Fuck the NFL media, or fuck sports media in general, because they'll do anything for, to write an article. But I'm just saying, just wait if they ever allowed the players to just say whatever the fuck they wanted, and just see how much you would have a field day at first, but then you'd get tired of it. It's like, please go back to being boring. I don't want to write all this shit every damn hour. There are more important things to write about. And you have a family to go see. So guess you don't want to be having overtime writing about what J.J. Watt thought of the Super Bowl. You have better things to do. But anyway, what did you think of the season, Bill, for Super Bowl 50 in general? Well, the year of Super Bowl 50.
Overall, and this is our final segment of the year. Oh man. Okay, and it was a great year, but I have a few things. I still thought the rule change to move the extra point is still stupid, and it still stands. I still think it's really dumb. It really didn't add anything to the game. In fact, it subtracted stuff from the game. You know, it got rid of intrigue because if you get a 17-17 game, you know, you know that's going to overtime. Whereas if a kicker misses an extra point, then it's 17-16. You get rid of a lot of, that sort of stuff. And my second thing is this year has been the worst officiated year in the history of the NFL. No one knows what a catch is anymore. No one knows what an actual real legal hit looks like. The NFL is basically turning into imagine the NFL turning into what baseball would turn into if it turned into wiffle ball. That's sort of that's what the NFL is turning into. It's turning into wiffle ball. I mean,
who was it that said?
Some real
Oh,
rule changes into place that make sense and are not archaic and stupid.
and let's have refs that actually know what a catch is. So fire. What's his name? Say it, Bill, with the hashtag.
Here, hashtag Lurch, aka Peter Morelli.
Also, Jim
But
Schwartz.
Here's the other issue is the NFL needs to hire full-time referees. No more part-timers, none of that shit. Full-time referees. You're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. You can hire more referees and make them full-time. So that way we don't have these people coming in for 6 months of the year. That's their only job is to referee football games. And if they're not during the off season, they're only studying tape and making sure that they get the rules correct. That is what needs to happen.
Yep. As for me, I think it was Jaywitz and someone else that were having a conversation about how they flag players for having fun, like celebratory flags, excessive celebration.
Yep.
I want to say it was a guy named Zerachi, but it was another normal boots guy. Pro Jared? No, I don't think it was, but I know Jaywitz is one of them because Jaywitz is into sports, and that's why I like him a little more, even though he doesn't talk about it enough. He's a Bulls fan, so Bill, he would get in your way. He's a Bears fan, so yeah, he's Chicago. He's from Chicago, so he'd get in your way in a lot of sports. But
yeah,
he was. But I tweeted to him, NFL trying to make. I tweeted something along the lines of the NFL's trying to. Actually, there is a way for me to check, but basically what I said was, the NFL is trying to make football professional when it's a sport about people beating the shit out of each other. You know what I mean?
right.
That's like it's like trying to restrict boxers on how to punch each other. I mean, obviously no below the belt, that makes sense. You don't want to hit the it was Brutal Moose. Brutal Moose and Jaywitz. It says NFL trying to be a professional sports business. And the picture I have, if I remember, I'll post it in the video. It's a robot from Sonic the Hedgehog comic books series, and it says "No fun allowed." He's posting a sign that says "No fun allowed." That is literally the NFL in a nutshell. They're robotic. They're trying to be quote-unquote professional, but at the expense of the players trying to have fun. Because even though it's really their sport, the NFL is like, we're just making money off of you. I mean, sure, they get millions, but who has more of the money? But let's not make this political. But Bill, don't you agree? NFL just taking the fun out of everything to make it make any other money. Because honestly, what?
It's corporate and boring.
Exactly. I mean, that's why people don't watch baseball. I mean, I like baseball when I'm there, but I'm not going to watch it on TV because it's boring and you get mad. I mean, why do you think people made a big deal about that Batista throw? Which fuck the Blue Jays. I talked about that at the beginning of the call, Bill. I'm making it come full circle. Why was the Batista bat flip such a big deal? Because players don't celebrate when they do things. I mean, sure, they don't have time to because you got to run as fast as you can to get to a base and be safe. But What?
And the other issue is if you do celebrate like that, typically pitchers either not throw at you with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, etc. So you don't want to show up the
No, but
pitcher.
remember, they did it after it was hit, and he did it after it was hit in a clear home run.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I'm saying next time he's up at bat, typically
Oh, when the Rangers see him at
pitcher,
bat, they're going to make him pay. Or that's what I'm telling
a,
myself.
pit, a pitcher is going to drill him in the back.
Well, he's got to take
With
the
a,
base, but is it worth it, Bill? Is it worth it? I mean, I don't want to hit Batista, even though I hate him, because I don't want him to get I don't want him to get
but
a
that's
single point on the board.
but I'll just put it that
Yeah.
way. That's what happens.
You don't want
That's
to.
how,
We don't. I don't want this to become. No, actually, there's a better analogy. And here's the sad part: they're allowed to celebrate more than this. Golf. They can celebrate much. You can do much more in golf than you can in the NFL. That's how bad it is in terms of having fun. Remember?
it's corporate, and when corporate money gets into the product, it just waters it down and it gets bland, boring, and garbage. And you're seeing it. You get these idiotic referees that don't know what the call is. You get high-scoring games for offense because offense sells tickets and gets more people in the seats, and it causes more people to watch, which gets more people to watch
Yep.
advertisement.
But
And there you
last
go.
last example on
That's
this.
the business.
Last example on this. Remember the Washington football team? I think it was around the time when they won a Super Bowl. Remember with it? I think it was when that offense scored a touchdown. A bunch of the players would form a circle and do move from side to side, kind of like doing a chant or something.
Yeah.
And they have the football in the middle or something. They used to do that, but if you do that now, even with just one person, you're gonna get a flag for that, both of you, and you're gonna get a fine. You're both gonna get fined. What? As much as I don't like the Washington football team, that looked fun. If I were in a football team, I'd want to do that with friends. Like, hey, let's get all the team and do something cool together to celebrate us getting a touchdown. Because it's fun for the players, and it'll motivate them. It's like, let's do this again. Well, let's go score again. But, NFL, no fun allowed, .jpg. That's literally what they are. Literally what they are. Anyway,
Yep.
last things to note over the season, Bill. How do you feel about your teams? Or your team?
My team.
How did...
I'm feeling hopeful for the future, and I think the future is bright. Obviously, I'm going to be watching with earnest. I feel like Detroit will be just fine without Kelvin or with Kelvin. Either way, they'll be fine. And I see them going in the right direction next year.
I hope so, for their sake. And I hope Megatron stays. But on the other side, well, Houston, they host the Super Bowl next year. The countdown's begun. 360 days left. They just unveiled the countdown meter thing today. And by the way,
Oh man.
I think I saw it, and I hope this was correct, but we're no longer going to have that same bland silver text that signifies the Super Bowl anymore. Remember the same one we had for 5 years? Because the people have voiced their opinions like, that is stupid and boring, and you all know it. So just make unique logos for each and every Super Bowl, because it makes it feel a little more individualized instead of just part of the brand. Like, oh, it's like a factory line, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And
Super Bowl metallic garbage.
yeah, now it's Super Bowl L1 or LI, which means Super Bowl 51. Should be fun. I can't wait, but Houston will probably not go there. The only way they do it is with a rookie quarterback, which, Bill, has a rookie quarterback ever been and won a Super Bowl at all?
I don't think that's ever happened.
Because I could have sworn Ben Roethlisberger went to the Super Bowl as a rookie.
I thought that was second year.
Okay, but yeah, so that would not happen. So my dream Super Bowl of Houston v Dallas in Houston will not happen. My best bet would hope that a future Super Bowl will be in Jerry World. But that'll probably not happen for a while, since, about 10 years ago we had a Super Bowl in, want to say, what was it? It was 10 years ago or so. It was when Green Bay beat Pittsburgh. Yeah, I remember now. I remember that one. That was the first year too. That was the first year Jerry World opened for everybody. But that tends to happen because remember this year Levi Stadium opened and it came out. Next year, or 2 years from now, Minnesota Stadium will be open and is the most expensive thing that should have ever lived or been around. But anyway, I think that'll do it. I think that'll do it, Bill. We just passed the hour limit, so the quota has been fulfilled. Do you have any last things you want to say, Bill?
Obviously, we'll keep an eye on a bunch of different stuff, and we might have some new inductees into our Hall of Fame in April.
Yep, we will see you guys in the draft era. Like we're not talking combine because I don't give a shit about that.
Nope.
I kind of hope Jared Goff falls a little in stock, but Carson Wentz will rise. I actually think Carson Wentz will be the first quarterback drafted because something tells me he went from like the worst to nearly first. So if he could just get a good combine going, he'll be picked by the Browns. So that way, Jared Goff, who has much more hope, should not be doomed to suffer from the start like he would if he got drafted by the Titans or in this case the Browns. But anyway, last thing I want to say, yeah. Aside from that, we won't be around till May or June. When does the draft start, Bill?
May is. I think it's in.
Okay, well, if it's in May, then that's when we'll start, or whenever it is. We'll be around like a week or two before it. But Bill, it was a fun season. It's nice doing this with you. We'll see. Well, I hope we can have another season of this. Hopefully, it'll be better for all the teams, especially Detroit. And in Houston preferably, but we'll see. I think that's all I'm gonna say too. So I think we will end this season this season of football talks. Don't you agree?
Oh, yeah.
All right then. It was a fun season. I thank you all for watching. Yeah, we will see you guys in the pre-draft era, or pre-draft 2016, 2017, I guess. Anyway, we'll see you guys later.